Hi folks, it's me, Nanny, and as you can see, I'm in the car sitting outside the VA place where Moosie is in getting his blood work done today. We're out nice and early. We're early birds. We're going from here to Jack in the Box to have that marvelous croissant with egg croissant and ham or bacon. Aiden is coming as soon as we get home, and he's going to change my sheets for me. And some other work outside in the garden. That's such a job. I think I did that once on a video about 2 or 3 years ago, and I called it "It's a Sheety Day." Changing sheets and changing the duvet. At that point, Moosie sort of helped me a little bit, but then he scooted off to watch the ball game. and one of the ladies that was watching at the time called Moosie a slug. Actually, we were trying to fluff up the duvet and get it fluffed up, and he kept dropping his corners. But it's a good day. I have to tell you about our supper last night. Oh my gosh. I did that rana spinach ravioli last night. So easy. I'm making that meal tonight of the family-sized spinach and ricotta, the rana meal, and it looks lovely. Now they say to make a very light sauce because you don't want to ruin the taste of this spinach and ricotta, which is nice and strong. So I don't want to go with a marinara or something stronger. So I'm using some butter. They suggest a butter and milk or a half and half sauce with some, I've put a whole cup probably of Parmesan cheese in, and about a cup and a half of half and half, almost a whole stick of butter. Used an envelope of the Knorr's Béarnaise sauce. I always loved Béarnaise. To me, it's a beautiful soft sauce. Now you could use some Alfredo if you want, but I put this mixture in, and that's what's giving it a nice taste. So here it is. I'm mixing it. It's firming up very nicely, and I think I have enough for both Moosie and I to put on top of, or I don't know whether I'll just put the mozzarella right in this dish. We'll see. The water is ready. The water is ready for the ricotta spinach, and it says to put it in for, I think, 4 minutes, maybe 5 at the most. So it's going into a nice boiling pot of water. I turned it down a little bit. Doesn't that look good? And this is what will go on top. I'm turning the water up a little bit just to give it a little zoom. So I've made this sauce up, and I've decided to doll it up, my Béarnaise, with the Parmesan, the half and half. Why don't you try making things on your own? Sometimes you succeed and sometimes you don't. But this one I think is going to be a winner because it's nice and subtle, which is what they recommend. Here I go using my Martha Stewart basket tool. Wow, do I love this. I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. It doesn't cook for long, 4 to 5 minutes. Love this tool. This is what it looks like. I overloaded it with sauce, by the way, which I shouldn't have, but I wanted to finish up the sauce. But these are just perfect. The ricotta cheese, and I put the Parmesan cheese in with the sauce, so that's why I didn't put it on the top. So it's looking yummy. Look at them. Look at that spinach coming out. Maybe don't make that much sauce. I did make a little extra sauce. It was delicious. Moosie was raving. In fact, he got it all over his shirt. He was enjoying it so much. Moosie practically licked his plate. It was so good, and I agree. Here he comes now, as a matter of fact. Let me get out and help him. Here we are, home again. Home the same day.
Digging stuff out of the bag. I don't know what's all in here.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Now, one of these has sausage and one has bacon. These are these croissants, This is mine, so the other's yours. Look at, aren't they nice? They're from Jack in the Box. And we both have hash browns. And, see that? There's some ketchup in there, by the way. And here's your iced coffee, plus I made your hot coffee, so you are set.
At home.
And I have my iced coffee, since I've already had coffee early this morning. Well, that was nice. It still is only 9:30, and we've had Moosie's blood work done at the VA. We're home again, and in a little while, Aiden's coming over to help us with all our little jobs. There's tons of birdies out, and it's going to be 92 degrees today. Well, in the last video, more ladies made comments about your books. They're really loving this little segment that you do. I know my friend Teeny has made several recommendations, but we're trying to figure out an easier way to do all this. And I think I have about 5 or 6 comments about books that I will go through the camera, and I'll pick them out, and then Moosie and I will talk about them. Is that the way you prefer to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First bite. It's good, isn't it?
Talking about reading series. Something that everybody does. There's a point in time where I read every book from Ernest Hemingway, everything he ever wrote. And I was going through them, and suddenly I realized, holy crow, I'll be out, I won't be anywhere to read him. There's only these 2. So I put them aside and did not read them. And then the guy killed himself. So I said, okay, I'll read them now. And the other one was Evelyn Waugh, who wrote a whole bunch of books. Everybody knows Bridesmaid Revisited, television. But I did the same thing with Waugh. I've just refused to read anymore because he had died too.
Colleen and Dub, I noticed a couple days ago, were doing this big back and forth testing for quite a while, and I think you were involved in it, all about some new books that Dub had been reading on her last little getaway with Barry. Did you remember any of them?
Oh yeah.
What were some of those?
We talked about them on the other...
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we talked about them.
Okay.
I love 2 out of the 3, and the third one was the chintzy one. About the girl describing chintzy.
Oh, yeah.
Cape Cod furniture.
It was somebody that wanted to know what that book was. I would have loved that one too, I think. You know, the part that I cut out of our discussion because it was so long in the last video was you were talking about the book that you were laughing out loud in bed at night. I think I mentioned that in the last video. And I said, what are you laughing out loud? He was reading. And he said, oh, there's this author. And I think you remember the name of the book. That they were redoing things in their house, and they were talking about layers of paint and wallpaper. And he said, it just reminded me so much of our first house. And that was back east in Montclair, New Jersey. A big brick colonial, beautiful home. And by the way, I think we paid $55,000 for it. That was back in...
No.
Yes, in
20.
the 60s.
20.
Oh, $20,000. That's right. $20,000 in would have been 60. Let's see. I was pregnant with Matthew, so it would have been 65. 1965. And we had 2 little toddlers, Debbie and Billy. And of course, not much money to be able to fix this house up. And you were talking about how every single wall was painted this ugly green color.
Apple yellow.
Yes, apple green in the whole
Apple
house,
green, yeah.
top to bottom. And we had to go over that, and then there were layers and layers of wallpaper in the dining room, which eventually I wallpapered. Had a beautiful chair rail. It was a great house, one of those big colonials with a center hallway, and then beautiful wood floors, right? And you were going to do the floors, but Moosie had no experience. So both our families were involved, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters. And who finally rented a machine? And your father. And he scraped the floors with this machine. Of course, we had some gouges here and there, but these wood floors came up beautiful oak blonde. And then Moosie and his dad shellacked them. And he was just laughing because he remembered those years. And we only lived there 3 years, but we loved that house. And our first home. Do you have memories of your first home and all the things you did? I remember going to charity sales and church rummage sales and buying pictures to put on the wall and braided rugs. That was the big thing then. It was all colonial decorating. And I even got into braiding rugs myself too. But my living room, we have this big 9 by 12 braided rugs. Just so many good memories of that house. Hello. Want to sit up and say hi? Huh? Do you? Come on. Yeah. Did you say yeah? She answers me. One time, one of my grandsons said to me, Nanny, I don't think you should tell people that your cat talks to you. Remember? That was Colin, I think. Come on. Come on up. Come on. That's good. Come on. It's okay. Muppet said nobody's around. Off to the washing machine. Clean clothes have to be folded. I thought you did this on Mondays. I thought Monday was washing day. Today's Wednesday. We're a little bit mixed up here. Aiden is coming. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. And probably the first thing we're going to do, we have some outside work to do in the garden and with the tubs and the tarps. But I think first Aiden will put the sheets on. That involves, we have one of those twin California King beds that go up and down. Lifesaver for Moosie, believe me. And I don't use it as much as he does, but I love it too. And I do have these, we do sort of have a blue and white theme throughout the house. And even the quilt that I've hung up has the blues in it with the reds. But I do have some jersey sheets, knit jersey. And because it's still cold and we still have March to go through, I don't want to put the nice crispy cotton sheets on yet because I love the coziness at night when you pull the duvet cover up. This is my duvet, by the way. It's sort of a two-man job, really. And, of course, he puts the sheets on. And what we do is you raise one bed up high, then you can get the sheets on. But you do have to crawl up on your knees to get the top. And I can't do that anymore, so Aiden does all that. And I do have these cotton jersey sheets that are like a ticking, a blue and white ticking. And I wanted another jersey knit type of a duvet to put on, just maybe for the next couple of weeks. Will switch on and off with my flannel and my jersey knits like I do in the wintertime. And I think I don't have a duvet cover that matches this. So last night during my waking hours, I did go on Amazon. I think I found a jersey knit blue, just solid blue that will match this. It was only $29. So I thought, well, it's a duvet cover that I will put on this big comforter. And hopefully it will still be cozy warm for the rest of the cold weather. Now, we do have that wonderful heater in the bedroom fireplace here, and sometimes I have to get up about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I turn it off and it's warm for the rest of the night. Really warms up this room. Now, I did have something else I wanted to show you that I bought for me. Usually we're buying appliances and things for Moosie, but this one's for me. You know, I do a lot of my editing in bed, and my happy place is in bed. I do a lot of watching YouTube. And usually if I'm sitting back, I do have my blue backrest, which I love. And then I have the big pillows and everything in the back too. But can you see this? I'm going to pull it over. Look. This is one of those bedside tables that you see in hospitals where you just put it under the bed and you can move it around. I can set up my iPad right here like this. And I've got my plugs right next to my bed. And I can put it on. Look at this. And I can sit here. Let me get my face in. I can sit here. I can put my drink here and my TV things. It's wonderful. It's very luxurious. And I found this on Amazon, and you can make it higher or lower. Look at this. It goes up high. It goes down low. You push on it and down it goes very easily. And you can adjust it to your own height, and it kind of goes under the bed. I'm sailing with this. Just all the little things that make life a little easier. My beloved Victoria magazines. For all of you who has been asking for the story that Victoria magazine did on our national catalog and retail store, I have found was back in the 80, 90, early 90s. I think it was 91 or 92, and I'll talk more about it. I just threw out a bunch of these magazines, and certain ones I've saved. Definitely the one about Scotland, of course, I love, and the tea sets. But I love that magazine. It's still going now, but I started reading this back in 1987. I still have the very first issue. In fact, I had every single issue. Finally, I started to get rid of them after 1992. St. Francis has come off his perch. We discovered that Moosie has to send for some more epoxy, and Aiden just cleaned out the bird bath, and he's not cemented on there. We don't want him to fall, so we'll fix him up. The view is kind of hazy out there, isn't it?
A little bit. These days, I guess they call it.
Yeah, it doesn't look very clear up there. Well,
Honey, should I send for the epoxy?
yeah, as long the stuff that's to be able.
I know what it looks like.
Look what Aiden brought down from Margie. Aiden is Margie's youngest son. She has 3 sons. This is a zucchini, which obviously she has a ton of up there, but this got kind of big. So I still never made that ratatouille. Maybe that's what I'll do with these. Moosie suggested doing zucchini sticks and bread them and put them in the oven and get them crispy for a snack. That is an idea. And I love spaghetti squash. To me, it's a good meal and healthy. So I will make use of these. She's the gardener, she's the chicken lady, she's everything. Bread maker. Ooh, it looks so nice. Oh boy, these sheets look so cozy. And I found some of my big 36-inch squares. Put those on the pillows. We're all set. Now, as long as my Amazon shipment comes tomorrow with my new blue duvet cover, will be good. Aiden found my tub this morning with some more of my blue and white china. Someday I'll go through all the different kinds of blue and white, from the Delft tiles from Holland, the Danish pottery, the American blue willows, the German onion styles, the beautiful Spode English. So many different countries have done this in their own styles. And we'll talk about it. I've collected this probably since we were married and have some really fun pieces. Most of it probably antique shops or thrift shops. Even little drinking glasses. Of course, I am most proud of the tiles that I hand painted. Can't remember how many years ago. I copied them from some old antique tiles that Moosie kept buying every time he took business trips over to Holland. And I hand painted these, no tracing, no whatever. I don't know how I did it, but took a few ceramic lessons from a local shop and then went from there. Ryan called this my ceramic phase, and I was addicted. And then I cemented them on the fireplace. One of my better hobbies. And I haven't painted much of this since. Very proud of it. I found this blue and white toile, heavy drapery linen fabric somewhere. I can't remember where. And made drapes for all the tiny little windows in the living room. And they are tiny, that's for sure. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. We did replace one of them when we had to redo this room. And one is just a little And then a lot of my plates I've put up here. I've given some of these away, gave some to my granddaughter Katie, who lived all over the world. And now she's back in Scotland. Her hubby's a Scot. And that's where she's living now, but some fun ones. Now some up here are more than the blue and white, but I do have a lot of the blue and whites up here too. And the kids, when they travel, will always bring me back some blue and white china if they find any. Well, as soon as I get this edited and hopefully up for you, of just a simple day in the life of Nanny and Moose again. We've accomplished some things today, and I'm ready to go snooze in this cozy bed that Aiden totally remade for us. He was here all day, did outside work in the garden for Moosie, did work for me. You know, for us, having grandkids to help us, it's twofold. We get to see them, we get to love them, and they're good workers, honestly, as good as we need anyone here in this tiny little cottage. I don't need professional help. Thanks for watching, my friends. Stay tuned for another episode of Nanny and Moose. I think one of the next ones, if you're interested, I might go through my collection of blue and white, my china. I have collected it forever and ever, pieces from all over. A lot of it from thrift shops or antique shops. A lot of it we bought in Scotland and England and all over. And maybe you'd be interested in seeing it now that I have found a lot of it again. Bye for now, my friends. I love you dearly. Thanks for watching, and God bless us all.